Hey, how are you guys? It is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. Now, in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to sell MSP or IT services, even if you hate selling. So if you are somebody that feels anxious, you're somebody that just doesn't like talking about money, anything from interacting with that potential customer to closing the deal and having a signed proposal, this video is for you. No doubt about it. So let me tell you a quick little bit about myself. So, you know, for those of you that are new here, I took a company or an MSP from $2 million to about $6 million in about 2 years. And when I first started, I hated selling MSP services. And these are all techniques that I've implemented. This video took a long time to jot down all my notes to go through that is going to make you incredibly more successful. So by the time you're done with it, you're going to be able to go close a deal like a master, at least to the point where you're going to be able to start closing more deals more often, creating more revenue and more growth for your company. Before I get into it, I do want to invite you to check out two things. One, my masterclass with the link down below. Go check that out. It's about an hour long, 5 ways to make significantly more money for your MSP, and it's about to get a total revamp. I'm in the process of working on it right now. It's going to be better than it even was before. So get on there. I'll let you know when the revamp is out as well. That's number one. Number two, I have a bunch of helpful links. A lot of you have commented on other videos saying, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And I've already made a video about that. So if you're curious at the end of this, or you have more questions about something I may have already covered, there's a bunch of links down in the video description. Go there, check it out. I just post really good content, and I try to condense down some of the best videos for you guys. So let's get over why people have sales kind of anxiety in the first place. They hate rejection, and they don't like talking about money. There's this big stigma about talking about money that you've probably felt at some point in your life, and it stinks. We've kind of been bred to not talk about money. We've been bred to and grown up to just kind of ignore that. And then all of a sudden you find yourself either wanting to start an MSP, or you're starting an MSP. You've already got a couple employees, but you hate that selling aspect. Sometimes it feels a little pushy, and the stress that you self-induce on you helps take away from that sale, and unfortunately might lose it for you. So I totally get it. There is a level of anxiety that comes from it, little level of stress, and a lot of uncomfort stepping out of your comfort zone that you're probably used to, which is behind a desk, working in tech, fixing computers, fixing people's servers, anything of that nature. That's probably what you're comfortable with. So all of a sudden you're going from this place of comfort to a place of massive discomfort, and it feels weird and you don't like it. I totally get that. So let's talk about ways to overcome that right off the bat. You have to, when you think about it, you're not actually selling anything. You're doing a lot of educating, and you're building trust and a relationship with that prospect. You want to really figure out what that client's needs are. You might not even be a good fit for them. And by you going in trying to be the superhero saying, I'm going to have all of the solutions, puts a lot of mental stress on you, and it's not going to help you close the deal. You have to think about it as you're figuring out the client's needs, and a great way to remove a lot of that stress is when you're talking to a client, don't talk about your company in your perspective. Talk about it in other people's perspectives of clients that you've already had. And if you don't already have a client, try to go help people with their technology needs and start to develop those third-party stories or case studies. And you could say, well, this one time we did help a company that had 15 or 20 employees. Their server went down, but thank God they were working with us. We were able to run a backup literally a day or two before. They really lost no information at all, and they were up and running in just a few hours when they thought it was going to be an absolute and utter disaster. So typically that's kind of things that we help with. Now you have already created a story of what you've done in the past that customer can then go and say, oh, this is way less threatening than you saying, well, we help companies when they go down, and we're going to make sure that they are, coming back up and working. No, tell about a story that you already did. Switches. Maybe somebody cross-wired a switch and it was an unmanaged switch and things got wild and you went in there and saved the day. There's plenty of stories that you can use, or case studies about how you increased employee productivity, whether that's with your services, maybe an all-you-can-eat type method, or just having a prospect or an existing client call in, put a ticket in, and you or your team was able to address that ticket and they were back to work in no time. And when you do that, it helps build that trust, that transparency, and shows that you're being honest, and that person typically will buy from people they know, like, and trust. And by you sharing those stories, you're building that know, like, and trust. But when you're actually getting into the sale, you want to do a more of a consultative sale. You don't want to think of it as, oh, I need to look at your network and see what we're doing and see how much I'm going to be able to charge you. You want to go in from a place of positivity and genuine wanting to help, which a lot of you already do. And you don't realize that that's the right thing to do, especially when you aren't that good at sales. Technology needs for every company are going to vary massively over time. And with today's landscape of things constantly changing, more threats than ever, with AI coming around the corner and people locking down people's computers for Bitcoins, things get crazy, and that's okay. You need to come from a place of helping and empathizing with what the client is struggling with and asking them, what are you currently struggling with? What is your technology issues? There's a reason why we're having a meeting or we're even having a conversation or you've entertained a conversation this long. What's going on in your environment that you don't like or you would like to change? When you ask those questions, it automatically makes the customer feel like you care because I know you do. And it makes things so much easier for you. And when you come from that place, that customer then feels like you're getting to know them. They're starting to like you because when a customer talks to you, they begin to like you. When they talk more, it's just natural science. I've seen this in every study across the board. The more prospect talks, the more they feel like they like you. They want to vent about all of their issues. And then they're going to build trust with you by you taking an empathetic approach to say, look, I get it. This is not the first time I've seen ransomware or some kind of other issue that's happened that I've already dealt with 100 other times. Let's see what we can do to help you out and maybe get a possible solution. Once you come from that place, it works so much easier, and that prospect is then going to say, oh, okay. But now you have to talk about the value and not the price that you're going to be charging. You're going to have to talk about price. There's no doubt about it. But when you explain the value to a potential prospect, things get easier. And I'll explain why. And I've used this example a couple times, so I apologize if you've watched a bunch of my videos. If an employee makes $50 an hour, or about $100,000 a year, if that employee isn't working for 1 to 3 hours per month, that's between $50 and $150 in lost value that company sees out of that employee. And then God forbid that technical employee that makes $50 an hour gets requested help by somebody else that's already in that company. Now you go from one employee to two employees that are not working effectively. Employee one has left their desk, going to employee two's desk, and they're now working on their computer, thus creating two completely unproductive employees. When you start to approach it like that, and you're providing a value of saying, hey, instead of somebody disrupting other people in the office, it's a simple, quick phone call to us or a ticket request, and we're going to address it nearly immediately. It makes illogical sense for them to get you involved. And when you can quantify and show the value of the dollars that they're going to be spending, many times it's a no-brainer. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when are they going to hire you or somebody else. And by you taking these approaches will make you significantly more successful. Now that's kind of the whole sale, but there's a lot more to this video. And that's using other areas that are going to help bring that customer over the edge, especially if you're really uncomfortable with the sale. And that's using something like content marketing. You can make content that is geared specifically for your target market. And when you do that, it makes life a lot easier on you because you're not dealing directly with that customer. You're letting your content do the work for you and build trust and build credibility for you. Just like many of you guys that have either jumped on my email list or subscribed to my channel, you probably didn't watch one video. You realize that I do actually know what I'm talking about, as crazy as I am. And you're like, this person has great ideas. I see the comments and I really appreciate them. They make my day a million times better. And if you, by the way, have found anything valuable or you like to do something a little differently, leave a comment down below. I'm very curious to see what other people are trying and what's working for them. But using content marketing, creating content, blogs, videos, podcasts, if you did a guest appearance on something, leverage that and you can create that and get into kind of the next step, which is going to be using something like a CRM. leveraging software and marketing automation to then include those clips, those third-party stories, those testimonials, those case studies when you're talking to that prospect. You could build out saying, hey, we spoke, and they're going to get this series of emails, and it's just pure value emails. There's no sale, there's no pitch in there. It's just educating the customer on the massive value that you and your company provide. And that's what's going to set you very far apart from the competition and make sales not feel like a sale and more of a, we're having a friendly chat, and then at the end of it, we're going to talk about some basic numbers, but you've probably already heard some basic numbers and how we help people from all of the content that we've already sent you. That's what makes this a dream, especially if you're really uncomfortable in sales. There's plenty of faster ways to close deals that's not in this video, but this is a great way for somebody that doesn't actually really enjoy selling at all. Now, on top of content marketing, using that social proof, third-party stories, or leveraging social media with that content creation. And now, last but not least, I would like to mention networking and referrals. Obviously, net referrals are going to be the greatest thing in the world, and every MSP and IT company wants them. Marketing is super difficult in this space because a lot of times it's not that marketing's hard, you just don't have time, and you're so focused on everything else that marketing, unfortunately, takes a back seat. So because of that, start to ask for referrals. It sounds crazy, but if you're not sure if that person even has anybody good, go on their LinkedIn, go search their connections and see who might be a really good prospect for you, and then ask for an introduction. Don't make the prospect or the current client do the work. You do the work and then ask for that introduction. It makes it much easier on the client. And on top of that, it then shows you that you've done the work. You've already went out and prospected and found the right person. And because of that, they feel very comfortable, usually, making that introduction for you. Now, obviously, you have to be doing a good job throughout all of this. So I'm going to leave that as you should definitely be doing that. But it's a very simple way to say, hey, I want to meet Bob Jones from XYZ company. I saw that you're connected with him on LinkedIn. Do you think you can make that connection? And they might say, oh, I know Bob very well. I get lunch with him every single week. Tomorrow when I get lunch with him, I'm going to bring up your name and then I'll make an introduction. How does that sound? Good? Cool. Love it. That's the easiest part about it, is those referrals. But next, networking. Things like BNI and Latip are a gold mine to join. But if you can go even one step further, getting in front of your local chamber of commerce, that is all local businesses, especially if you're not kind of at that point where you're picking a buyer persona or niche. They are a gold mine. If you're looking to figure out who your ideal customer is, there's a link down below for a worksheet. Go grab that worksheet. There's a video associated with it as well. Go watch that video. It's going to make a world of difference for you and your business. But going through that is a massive step in networking and building these relationships and those referrals. And last but not least is you're going to get to an objection. And an objection is a problem that you haven't addressed yet. It's not that the customer doesn't want to buy. It's just that they have a question that you haven't answered in the conversations that you've already had with them. So don't think of an objection as, I don't want your product or service. The only real objection is we don't have the money. And in that case, they may not actually have the money for your product or service. They might not run a successful business. Even if you quantify it, they might say, look, I just literally do not have the money for it. That's probably the hardest one to get over. And I do teach that. But other than that, hey, I need to talk to my partner. Well, do you think we can get them involved in this conversation now, or should I come back for another meeting? You know, I'm already working with another company. Okay, that's great. Well, just out of curiosity, why am I here then? There's all of these objections that they're going to have, and it just goes to show you that you might have missed something, so don't take it offensively. They just want you to answer more questions and keep them asking questions. Ask open-ended questions. Is there anything that I haven't answered for you today, or questions that might come up that you want me to answer? You know, I need to consult with my wife. Okay, well, would it make sense to have your wife on the next meeting, or do you want me to sit down? Or what questions do you think your wife would ask, or significant other, spouse, that they would ask that you might not have an answer to? So I can give you that answer now while I'm here, because I am the sales professional and it is my product. I know it like the back of my hand. You've immediately disarmed them, and it becomes so much easier to close that deal because they can take the information that you've already given them and relate it back to their significant other, partner, spouse, whatever it might be. So these are some massive points to help you grow very, very quickly and get over that. I hate selling services. I love doing the work. I love sitting behind a computer. I love fixing people's problems, but I just don't feel comfortable selling. If you implement all these points, I promise you, sales is going to become a lot easier for you and probably something you don't even have to think about in a negative light ever again. So I hope this video helps. I hope you guys found value in this. If you think I should add something, leave a comment down below. And if you've made it this far, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that little notification bell, and check out my masterclass. I put a lot of work into it. I'm excited to show you guys about it. And other than that, I'll see you guys later. Love you.